every Pokemon trainer is going to have experience on the stage. It's the most played stage in the game.
Oh, we got Stinky Guy. We got Wario. We have a Wario, so
okay.
This does change the matchup a bit. Wario can kind of aggressively land on you and play very in your face. But again, there are ways for PT to answer that behavior.
And so I think what we're going to see in this matchup is either finding, for PT at least, finding ways to kill, which PT doesn't have a shortage of, but either some smarty Ivysaur play or leveraging Charizard. However, I'm liking what we're seeing from Squirtle here. Squirtle having no fear playing at the same effective range as Wario.
Yeah, and again, like we said, we know that Louir is a very, very talented person when it comes to calling out these aerials, so he's preemptively calling Wario out with these jumps. And I don't know how I feel about Dry calling in with all of these, with the motorcycle approach. I feel like Wario has such good airspeed, there is definitely a way for him to get around and get in on Squirtle. But again, that's up to Louir to change. He doesn't have to, it's not his responsibility to make Dry change his approach.
Alright, and so I'm thinking we're going to need to see a play being made here just because you don't want to give Wario too much time later on. We're not going to see the WAP probably this stock, but it's always a race against the clock with Wario.
Yeah, and went to Ivysaur for a quick second, immediate switch to Charizard. So let's see how Louir uses this big body, but Dry bringing back the game really quickly. Holding him in the corner very well.
Okay, the nice little mix-up there with a high flare blitz, gets him back safe into center stage, but Wario takes it right back from him.
Yeah, I mean, both players just kind of aggressively throwing out options at each other, and the F-tilt will take it out. Charizard, very big boy, so...
Especially landing that sweet spot on the tail, but Wario's back air is pretty good too.
Yeah,
just makes it with the magnet hands.
Yeah, Zard is, I feel like Zard will have some trouble trying to land these kills or land any starter with that Nair. But again, back air takes it out right away.
All right. Got the good old card out now, so that is on deck. We got to look out for it. However, I'm loving the confidence on the Squirtle play. Just operating in that same range like that and just having no fear.
Yeah, and right now, Dry's doing a good job trying to get these combo starters, kind of holding his Nair when he does a little bit of these empty hops to try and get Louir to commit. So right now I want to see how good use of the bike to cover that approach.
A nice little chunk of damage. And I always enjoy when Wario's like to play around the bike like that. I think there's a lot of fun mind games you can play with it. It's a great projectile, especially straight up like that. Or rather, straight up like he's been throwing it, but still got that walk on deck.
Again, we're just seeing that Louir is just staying on this Squirtle. You have to imagine there is going to be some point that, well, as I say that, goes into the IV and starts looking for this kill.
But you're right, up until that point, we were seeing an awful lot of Squirtle, maybe longer than we would have expected to see on most PT players.
He's very quick to get off Ivysaur, which is a very interesting habit that I like to see. But I think that's just barely going to kill.
That move always feels like it's going to kill, but it often doesn't, unfortunately. It's still a good kill throw. Charizard is happy to have it, but yeah, it always feels stronger than it is.
Yeah, and right now, I know the score may be very close, but right now, Wario does have a pretty considerable advantage knowing that he's holding onto that wall.
Right. Okay, yep. And control of this bike has been such an important part of this matchup here. I've seen both players do some fun stuff with it. I'm glad they're both making plays with it.
Yeah, and right now there has to be something that Louir can do to try and get Dry to overcommit. Dash attack almost killing across the stage. But that flare blitz.
Oh, wow,
this might be it.
I'm so far away too. I'll be honest, if that was my Charizard was getting bit by Wario too. I didn't think the tail would get snagged like that. Wow.
Yeah, again, we're looking at a very, very close game. It's coming close to the time. We're at 2 minutes 45 seconds. And part of that Wario matchup, like we know, is watching the clock.
And Wario is sitting pretty right now. He can get some big damage out. And so Charizard being a heavy, well, not anymore. I was going to say we might see something silly into a fork, but that's still on the table.
I think we do need to be a little bit careful. We have Dry sitting on this Wario with a walk, and you're very aggressively playing Squirtle. And right now, this is kill percent. Like, if he gets an errant hit, that could be over.
And I think we certainly could see something like that, an unexpected reversal on that. However,
didn't kill.
Okay, the cheese is off the table here, so it's all about fundies at this point. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, right now, very good job by Louir just kind of calling out with these up here. But on the same side of the token, you're giving Wario rage. And there is a million ways for him to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we all fear that part, but Wario's got a huge toolbox, plenty of things he can kill with, especially with all this bike play. We can definitely see a sweet spot forward tilt, a dash attack, all sorts of things, and that bike is only going to help those get set up.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to say is that, you know, you have Dry just doing a very good job dictating this tempo. And Louir is kind of looking for a kill very, very early, looking for these back airs, kind of just throwing them out, hoping for something to connect, and good up smash.
That was some great patience on that for sure, but wow, way to keep it close. I really felt like that could have gone either way.
So we have Louir taking away FD in this town. I think that does offer a different chance for Louir to open up this game.
And as expected, no character changes on that. I agree with that from both of them. I think there was plenty to like in that. So
yeah, and right now, I didn't see the stage choice, but if they're running it back, run it back.
All right.
Very good.
More of the same, but I mean, I really didn't think that the stage did either of them a bigger favor than the other, so I'm not surprised.
Now, you know, I originally was very confused by Dry's use of the motorcycle, but he's doing a great job just kind of closing this gap and staying in Louir's face.
I think it's a hallmark of a smart Wario player to know how to play around the bike. It's not just about setups and depart. There's so much depth to that character off of just the bike alone.
And again, we see him using the command grab, very, very smart, good way to push everything forward and kind of keep Louir in this disadvantaged state, but also hasten the walk. As we mentioned, you do have to pay attention to this clock because Wario can punish you for not watching that if the walk goes out. Good attempt on a read.
Yeah, he was hoping for a fall off of the platform, I think, which would have been very disgusting if that had landed.
Yeah, and you know what I'm very impressed to see is that Louir is doing a good job of just kind of jumping up and calling out Wario before he can fastball his aerial and start a combo on him. Great up smash out of shield. So now immediately back to Squirtle. Why do you think he immediately is going back to Squirtle in this type of situation? You're holding a lead with Charizard.
I think in that case, he's just really confident in Squirtle's ability to do low percent combos. If you are on point with those, you can get pretty much a guaranteed 40 to 50 off of one interaction. And then you can get a little bit of pokes from there, maybe even another slightly shorter combo. So I think he just really wants to catch Wario up a percent as fast as he can. And with Charizard and Ivysaur, they have the weight and the reach, but just not that guaranteed damage at low percents where all Squirtle combos are optimal.
Yeah, and one thing that I think we're noticing is that Charizard is just, whoa, great ball out. Commanding lead for Louir right now.
However, we gotta look at the timer and that glowing Wario right now. If he can get a nice like F-tilt kill, dash attack, something like that, and then a fart after that, he can even this up. Real cover, Squirtle. Wow, using a fart to recover. You don't see that very often. Great awareness.
Yeah, and one thing that we have to look at right now is there is no walk right now, so that is something that Dry has to consider when he's trying to take out Louir. And Louir's just sitting on Charizard. He knows he can take this game at any moment with a good hit, just like that F smash.
What we might be looking for here is we could maybe be seeing Dry hoping that he survives long enough for another chance to use the fart. It could happen if he plays safe enough here. He's certainly playing confidently enough to last that long.
Yeah, and you know what what I'm proud to see is that Louir is just kind of, he knows that his disjoints are enough to take out Wario. He doesn't have to overcommit. He's playing this pretty well.
That was nice reaction on that. He read correctly how the Blight was going to interact with Flare Blitz and capitalized on it with the most optimal move he could hit in that spacing.
Yeah, and right now, Wario with Rage, you have to be a little bit afraid, racking up percent quickly.
Okay.
Is that the game? No!
Wow. But that'll
There's
do
the
it.
throw.
That nice beefy forward
That'll
throw.
do it.
Wow, what a set.
Let Chris get on for a few if he wants to try it. That's all right. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick break, but I'm going to get tagged on by our good friend here, Garcon.
Yep.
He's going to treat you right. All right.
All right.